It's Friday edition of the Sports Cage for Nelson Homes. You threw us for a loop there, Colson, too. Nelson Homes supplying home packages and RTMs for over 65 years. I thought you were going with a different Rider song. I was on Roughriders. No, we played that on Monday. But anyway, you already tricked me. Like I said, for Nelson Homes here for the next 3 hours, talking lots of Riders as we get set for the Montreal Alouettes tomorrow. Colson's in the chair. Greg from the Piffles podcast is going to be my co-host today, and we got for you Farhan Lalji early in the show here today. He's a busy character.
Busy guy.
He's got to be in and out quickly. We're going to talk to play-by-play voice of the Montreal Alouettes, Sean Campbell, in hour two. Get a take on the Als. Watch that game last week. That was a tough watch. So we'll talk to him. Western Canada Pro Scouts, they're celebrating Indigenous hockey coming up September 30th. John Nasty Mirasty, also in hour two. Hour three, a little Luc Mullinder. We got Rider audio from the field and from practice, and Dave's got things buttoned up on that throughout the show. We'll talk a little high school football as well. And just the Thunder playing this weekend and the Rams tonight here on 620 CKRM. Pre-game show is at 6:45. Kickoff at 7. They're in UBC, which is always a little bit sketchy playing in UBC.
Those West Coast games for any Saskatchewan team are always fun.
Yeah. Well, maybe the fellas go out. Maybe they explore things in the lower mainland there. Like I said, Greg from the Piffles podcast is here. Okay, I want to talk. Let's get this out of the way quick. Tomorrow, Riders play 5 o'clock kickoff.
It's gonna be a wet one.
Yeah, I don't know if I haven't trusted the weather that much in the last couple months, ever since it absolutely screwed me for our flag football regional thing. But hey, that's another story for another time. 5 o'clock kickoff. Keith Urban with special guests playing across the parking lot under the orange top that starts at 7 or 8 o'clock. I want to say I want to be a fly on the wall or whatever that old adage is, but I'm going, so I'm going to be in the mixer somewhere. That I feel sorry for people that are going to the concert, because Real put out a little bit of a release here and talk about stating the obvious. They want you to take public transportation or ride shares, carpool, be courteous to the neighbors in the neighborhood and all that, taxi, rideshare, public transit, ask a family member to drop you off.
Bike file, are you still there?
Yeah, take your rollerblades. Check them at the Brandt Center. That is, and then there's a Cougars hockey game.
Yep.
Isn't there a psychic on Real campus as well? Probably
didn't see that one coming. If there is,
does pickleball buzz on a Saturday night there as well? I don't know. It is. Are you going? Is anyone going? 936-6262 Prairie Land Rentals text line. How are you navigating this? What are you doing to get this? Prairie Land Rentals, whatever your job is, they have the tool that they can rent you. Also, Husqvarna days are coming up here. Never too early to talk about winter and snowblower season there. I'm really curious on how this goes down, because think of that parking lot when it's for a Rider game.
It's going to be an absolute gong show.
It's jammed. And then you add in, I heard it's almost sold out, Keith Urban. Ladies, settle down. So there, I just can't wait to watch this. And I said this before, the one time that I was trying to get out of the parking lot and it literally took an hour.
I was here for that rant.
Yeah, the poor staff that are trying to direct traffic. You got to get police officers. Go to an NFL game. Watch what they do. They hire the police, and because people don't want to mess around for the most part with the federales. So like no one's, a police officer carries, I guess, a bigger stick, so to speak. But these poor traffic staff tomorrow.
Oh yeah, old Jill and Johnny Orange Jacket are going to have a rough day. Like they're going to be like total PTSD by the end of the night.
Oh yeah, no, I just quit halfway through shift. I'm out.
Yeah.
I don't need this.
They're just going to pitch a road cone and just keep on walking.
Tomorrow is the day that if you ever wanted to take my advice on going to buy one of those orange jackets and maybe just screen silking staff on the back, tomorrow's the day to do it. Because then you can just kind of direct your in and out or whatever you want to do. It's gonna be a gonger. So I want to know how people are navigating that. Text of the day today with whatever we're talking about. We're gonna give away more chicken. Free 6-piece bucket feast from our friends at KFC. 6 pieces of chicken, 2 large sides as well. Because tomorrow is a game day, and at all participating KFCs in Saskatchewan, the End Zone Big Crunch is $4.95. Big Crunch combo, $7.95. Again, all participating KFC locations. You said it calls for rain tomorrow afternoon. It really kind of calls for rain tomorrow night. Depends what forecast you're looking at.
If you're looking at the hourly, it's 90% at 5, and it just gets deeper. Like, it's 90% all during the game, and it just gets more and more and more. If you believe the forecast that deep.
I was in the pro shop, the team store, at the stadium yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? And no word of a lie, 4 people in there asking about ponchos. And I think they were opening up a box and making things happen there. But you got to go. It's not going to be cold, even if it rains a bit. It's a good story. In the rain, watch the Riders slap around the Alouettes a bit. The thing is, when you throw elements, is it going to be windy? Does that level the playing field a bit?
Actually, I think it helps the Riders. The Riders' run game this year is better than the Alouettes. And considering, I think Tice is going to be their lead back this week, I would rather have AJ Ouellette.
All day long. I don't want, this is, again, just me, and I've talked about the load management, and the guy runs so violently all the time, every time he has the ball. Can we maybe just give AJ a few plays off? Mario Anderson, be ready to go.
100%. I would probably do an even 50-50 split this week. If they're going to go run heavy, get Anderson involved more.
Tommy Stevens, who we had on the program yesterday, get your boots ready because you're running the ball as well. So we'll talk about that coming up more. Like I said, the Rams are playing, the Thunder are playing this weekend. We got high school football around the province as well. Lots of football to talk about. When we come back, we're going to talk to Farhan Lalji. It is the Sports Cage. We're streaming at sportscage.com for Nelson Holmes and on 620 CKRM. All right, let's get it out of the way early, quick. CJ Rivas, should he have been fined?
Look, I didn't hate the hit. I didn't, and I've been in these situations before with Caleros hits where I've been asked to opine on them, and I think they were under penalized, right? When I look at this one and just kind of how he came in from the side, he kind of clipped his helmet. I don't think it was an egregious hit. It's unfortunate for Caleros. I think we're all kind of, you never want to see this happen to a player where they've got a missed time because of a concussion, and we know what Zach's history is. You'd love for Rivas to go a little bit lower. Is it finable? Yeah, I think you can justify it given the fact the league's trying to really, really take care of quarterbacks, but this was not just awful. Was it finable? Sure. Was it egregious? Suspendable? Heck no.
As a guy that coaches football, though, everyone's like, oh, you put your head 6 inches or 8 inches lower. It's like, have you ever played the game? That is, when you're coming that fast in there, the only thing he can do is go lower, but then it's like, is he spearing him?
Yeah, if he drops his head, he's spearing him. But look, this was not a situation where he's trying to fight off a block and other things are kind of causing him. He has the ability to lower his strike zone, right? And whether or not he wanted to get a piece of the arm or how low he wanted to get, it's a little different when you're coming at him from the front, which is probably why I didn't hate it. But again, there's no other factors that he can say, okay, well, this person was forcing me into this direction or vice versa. I get the game's fast, but standards have changed. He could have lowered his strike zone.
Your TSN counterpart, Milt Stegall, they're kind of lit Winnipeg on fire by saying Zach Caleros should not play anymore. What are you hearing about that? And of course, how's Milt taking all the controversy coming his way?
Look, Milt comes from a good place, and I get why he feels the way he does, right? I mean, you can only take so many of those types of hits. Now, look, ultimately, we can all sit here and get on a soapbox and say he should be retiring or forced to retire and all of that. And I understand what he is saying. He feels for his family and wants to make sure that he's in a good place, that he's not, that he's the same guy in another 20 years and 30 years and as he gets older. I get it. But, the other side of it is that this is Zach Collaros' decision. And from an organizational standpoint, the Bombers have only said that this particular injury was a head injury. All the ones that happened before, we hear neck, we hear thorax, we hear other things. They haven't come out and said any of those other things was a head injury. So, we can all look at it and say there's a cumulative effect, and we can kind of raise our eyebrows saying, what, you're saying that wasn't a head? But you do have to trust the medical staff, and they've said what they've said, and now this time they've said it was a head injury. So, you take them at their word. Ultimately, Zach's in a good place. He got on the plane and is in Hamilton for the game tonight. He's not going to dress, but the fact that he's on a flight tells you that he's symptom-free. So I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that he plays next week. So take that for what it's worth.
That's a good point, that he's on the flight. Yeah, because if you got a concussion, you ain't going up on one of those birds. Could be rainy here tomorrow. Elements could be a factor. Our friends at Sports Select have it at -7.5 right now. No Marcus Sales, Tavon Campbell, game time decisions. Should Rider fans be worried at all? What should Rider fans be worried about?
I had no hesitation picking the Riders to win and cover. None. We'll see what the health of McLeod Bethel-Thompson is. He's going to play. I guess we'll see what the health of McLeod Bethel-Thompson previously in his last couple of games where he really, really didn't play well, how much his health was a factor then. Because if he lights the world on fire, we can say, okay, well, maybe injuries contributed to that. So I don't know. I mean, for me, I can only go by what I saw there. And will he improve their passing game? Sure he will. He's better than James Morgan. But he's also not Davis Alexander. So, can they take advantage of some matchup issues if both those corners are out? Especially Campbell, because that's going to force a ratio change and potentially hurt Sask somewhere else. We'll see, but I still have all the faith in the world in Trevor Harris and what Saskatchewan's going to line up with offensively and just how good that front seven is and just the struggles Montreal has had. When Davis Alexander got hurt, I said they weren't going to win another game till he got well. And I had people in Montreal saying, it's not just him, we got all these other guys hurt. Well, guess what, right? Like they won a game when P.J. Walker had to replace Vernon Adams. But other than that, they haven't been there. So I'm not seeing them winning until Davis comes back.
So what do you do in Montreal? Then you
wait.
You wait. You got Toronto and Ottawa picking up steam, and Montreal was might not be in a playoff spot in 2 weeks unless they start winning games.
Yeah, but my guess is, and I'm guessing, okay, we know Davis Alexander isn't playing this weekend. We know that he's slowly getting into limited practice phases. He could come off the injured list next week. I don't think he's going to play next week either. But I think after that, the door's open for the end of September. So I think there's a real chance he comes back. Once he comes back, it's a different team. The defense gets better because they're not always on the field, right? So I think they've got to stay the course because they know if he plays, they're a different team, and if he takes one more injury, his season's over. So you cannot bring him back too early.
You learn anything about the Riders win in Winnipeg about the Riders that you didn't know?
No, not really. I mean, I figured they'd win that game. I think they're better. Winnipeg has got holes on their roster, right? So, Saskatchewan has shown me this year at various times that they can win different ways. They can win leaning on Trevor Harris in a quick passing game or even pushing the ball downfield. They can win leaning on AJ Ouellette, and they can win leaning on their defense. So, right up until that last game against Calgary, I was just saying they were the best team. Now they've got to show me they're the best team because Calgary has shown me they are. But Saskatchewan's right there. They really are. So I will pick them in every game they play until they play Calgary next, and then we'll see what happens at that time and how teams are trending at that point. But there's no team they shouldn't beat right now outside of maybe Calgary.
It was announced today that last minute Sean Oakman and Sean Lemon aren't playing this week. Yeah. Is that just another problem for Montreal, another hill for them to climb this week?
Yeah, for sure, right? Lemon, hasn't necessarily been a big impact guy, but he has made their pass rush better. He's also fully committed against the run. Like I think they're better defensively with him in the game. And Oakman, I think, has shown well this year. Also, I mean, he's not constantly dominant. With that body, if he was, he'd be in the NFL. But he flashes at a higher rate than he did previously. So they're better with him in there too. So I think that Trevor Harris is going to be able to throw cleanly, without Lemon rushing the passer. And I think they're going to have more success in the run game without Oakman in the middle of it.
You mentioned Calgary there. I know we have some Stamp fans that like to message in here at all. Should they be a little bit worried now if Flo Ormolade blowing his Achilles? He's out for the year. Things getting dicey in Calgary?
Yeah, I think you got to hold your breath a little bit, for sure, because this defense did not look the same in that last game. And Flo's been a big part of that pass rush. Jalen Hutchings has been a big part of what they're doing. So they got the bye, so we'll see what happens in the next game. But, obviously you saw what that defense looked like against the run, against Rankin, without him in the middle of it. So they need those guys back, because what they've been able to do this year with basically 12 new starters on the defensive side has been remarkable, right? I mean, it's the story of the year as far as I'm concerned. But they can only handle so many losses, and those two players are big-time losses. Losing Flo for the year is going to be hard for them. They've had a deep pass rush. They've had like 7 guys that have consistently got to the passer, but a lot of the reasons for that is the work that Hutchings has done inside to free guys up on the outside. So they got to get him back soon, otherwise the rest of them could get exposed.
Today, CFL lost Teddy Gavea. Obviously, tonight was coincidentally enough Team Ted night in Hamilton. How emotional do you think that game's going to be tonight?
Very, very, because this is not just a GM. This is a guy that was a staple of that community. With all the time he spent in Burlington, that was home for him. This was the dream job. Last week the junior football teams got together and held the Ted Govaya Bowl. And look, we've lost people in this league, and death is a part of life. But Ted was special. He really was. He impacted a lot of people, not just in the Canadian Football League, but in the entire Canadian football ecosystem. I remember when he was at UBC and how much he tried to give back to grassroots football in BC, a place he had no connection to at that time when he took the job. And, the relationships he made and the friends that he stayed in touch with all the way through, I can't say enough good things about Ted Govaya. It is a loss for that community. It's a loss for this country. It's a loss for this sport. My condolences to his longtime girlfriend, Jen, and his entire family and everybody in Hamilton, but we're all feeling it. And we all knew it was coming, but a number of us have been reaching out to each other behind the scenes, offering support to each other because it hurts. So I'm going to do everything I can to get to the services in Ontario. He meant a ton to me.
Nice words there. Let's shift it over to the NFL. Philly Chiefs game of the week, or what are you circling?
Yeah, for sure. You've got to view that the Super Bowl rematch as the game of the week. And, neither team really impressed last week, right? I know that the Eagles found a way to win, but I think people expected a lot more against the Cowboys, especially offensively. Saquon Barkley in the second half of that game was held in check, and the receiving core was nowhere to be found, right? And when you look at Kansas City, I think they're going to get significantly better as the season progresses. Once Rashee Rice gets back into the lineup, they're not going to have Xavier Worthy today. And offensively, they didn't look good then. So I expect them to run the ball more effectively. But generally, I don't mean this week, because Jalen Carter's going to be back in the lineup for the Eagles, right? So that's going to change the look of their defense. They're going to be that much more ferocious. We just talked about Hutchings and what he does for the Stampeders. Jalen Carter does that for the Eagles. Everybody is better when he's on the field. So I think Philadelphia is going to win again, and there's probably going to be a lot of angst in Kansas City, but they're going to get better too.
Plus 750 for the Green Bay Packers right now, where I'm looking to win the Super Bowl. I don't mind that, actually. They look good.
They looked really good, and I'm not surprised they won that game. And Micah Parsons makes them a lot better. And I predicted a kind of a slight regression for Jaden Daniels and the Commanders. That I still think they're a playoff team, but I don't think they're immediately going to go from last year to being a Super Bowl contender this year. But when you look at the most improved teams around the league, based on draft, free agency, and now the Micah Parsons trade, it's Green Bay, and they were right there a year ago. So, I even felt a little bit of regression coming for Detroit, losing both their coordinators, and that's going to create an opening for Green Bay to get right up there and compete with the Eagles for the NFC crown.
How deafening are those "Thank you, Jerry" chants going to get by the end of the season?
Yeah, they're going to get loud. That's a lot of fun. He doesn't, he doesn't accept it. And look, Dallas, they look fine defensively against the Eagles, but I don't know that that's sustainable without Micah Parsons there.
Okay, I want to close on this because I don't know if you, Maz and Sharky, had you talk about it last week, but I'm curious. If we were gonna sprinkle right now, what's McDavid gonna sign in Edmonton? Is he gonna sign in Edmonton?
It's a tough question to ask before the All-Star break. In the end, I have always projected this to be that he will re-sign on a bridge deal. It's not going to be the 8 years. It's going to be 4 years max. But, if they come out in the first, 3 months of the season between now and Christmas and they really struggle, and I don't know why they would with him in there, but they have before, right? They've had some issues coming out of the gate and eventually they've figured it out. If they have another one of those types of years, because this situation is going to be weighing over the entire franchise.
That's
the fact that it didn't get done this offseason. And that might put a lot of undue pressure on a number of people, not just McDavid. So if they stumble, maybe it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy and he leaves. But my gut tells me he's eventually going to sign, a 3 or 4 year deal.
Yeah, because guys like you in Vancouver, the Toronto, when they go on these road trips, it's not going to go away, and it's just it's going to be gross. All right, I know you got to get going, Farhan. Thanks again as always. We'll catch up next week.
All right, boys, have a great weekend. Enjoy the football.
Right on. Yeah. I'm going to ask you about McDavid in a bit, but Farhan always joining us here for the Cooperators. It's time to get financially fit. Cooperators can help build a plan that works for you. Invest in your future together with the Cooperators. Do you follow that much? Are you McDavid thing?
I try to avoid any
Edmonton fans?
I try to avoid Edmonton fans and Edmonton news. I'm a Penguins fan, so I really could care less what happens in the West mainly, but it would hurt that franchise. There's no coming back from it.
But I talked to an Oilers fan a couple days ago, and they're like, you know what, we'll be okay. We're still going to be really good. And I'm like,
what are you talking about?
Are you go have a drink with a Cowboys fan?
Yeah.
And it's even worse, like McDavid. Yeah. So there's lots of time to talk about that. We'll talk some more Riders when we come back. The text line, Prairie Land Rentals text line is buzzing. People trying to win the free KFC for text of the day. It is a Sports Cage. We are streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com, and we are on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM. That's right. Text that number or jump into the YouTube chat. Colson's monitoring both. We're going to give away free 6-piece bucket feast, 2 large sides from our friends at KFC, because tomorrow's a game day and the End Zone Big Crunch is $4.95. The Big Crunch combo $7.95. Craving KFC.
No, I want chicken, thanks.
Of course, I know. This is a big Wynyard show. Is it Wynyard or Wynyard?
I've heard it both ways. I had family that lived there. You think I would know?
We do have the Prairie Golf Gems for Flooring Superstores coming up in hour 3, and we're going to talk to Paul from the Wynyard golf course. So, and I'm going to ask him what's the correct pronunciation. So that's coming up for all you. I guess it's a cool little 9-hole course there too, as well. Have you ever played it?
Years ago, back when I could barely hit the ball. But yeah.
And then we just also thank you to the text here. I don't think there's a name. Conference 3 6-man results last night. Wynyard Golden Bears 34, Lanigan Lasers 14. Bears led the entire game 34-0 going into the 4th. Former Golden Bear coach honored with reserve parking sign deckled for his family. So that's really cool. Thanks for the message on that. Also, Georgie Porgy, Pilot Butte, he's saying marble-sized hail currently in Pilot Butte. Mini downpour. It's not good. Hopefully everyone where it's affected got the crop off by now. Thanks, Georgie, for the heads up there. Cole Frank in North Dakota. Loving my football teams right now. Riders riding high, and the Packers are sending opponents packing. Packers look good. It's a good time to be a Packers. I don't mind Packer fans. They're nice people.
The good news is about the Packers, they'll win one championship and not win another one for 20 years, and they can move on.
Who's oh yeah.
I'm a Patriots fan. We know this.
Yeah, we know this. Okay, big news for the Riders today. What's going to happen with Marcus Ailes and Tallman Campbell? They are both slated as game time decisions. Coach Mace today had a comment on their status.
I'm hoping 100. But we'll see, man. The tough for one of them, to be honest, is just I don't want to disclose too much, but just needed time to rehab. But certainly from what we're hearing is that if he can, he can. So that's really good. And then the other one, the man, we call him Wolverine. I don't know. He heals up good, and he's been a game time before. So feeling pretty confident with that.
I'm guessing the second one's Marcus Ailes. I'm just throwing that out there.
We got T-Mobile we found out for nickname this week. You got Wolverine. I would have put really good odds cash down that Coach was going to say dang in that clip as well. It's one of his beauty words. Tough one, but
here's the thing. If they're not 100%, don't play them. We got the bye week coming up. It's the Alouettes.
Whoa.
I'm not worried.
Whoa.
Who's worried?
Everybody in the league scares me at times. You can't. And we have
Ottawa?
the team, the coaching
Ottawa scares
staff.
you?
Well, the Calgary in me, it scares. Ottawa tonight, an absolute dog. What was I looking at here?
They're 9.5, aren't they?
Sports Select. Yeah, I think 8.5.
Yeah,
8.5 dog.
I think they open.
I
think they open up at 9.5.
In BC, I don't mind that.
I hate to say that, I took them to cover. I don't think they're going to win, but I took them to cover. That's a big number, and I don't care if it's out in BC.
They're who knows? They're two-faced. You never know. And then the other game though, Hamilton is 7.5 at home against Chris Strevler. The mechanic.
Strevion, boys. Strevion.
Okay, what is that? This is a good one here. Coach Mace, in his perspective on the CJ Revis hit and fine.
Look, I don't look at CJ as a dirty player. I definitely know it wasn't his intention. But at the end of it, you look at it, if there was helmet contact, I mean, the rules are the rules. And, unfortunately, it ended the way that it did. Uber respect for Zach. And I hope he's fine, man, honestly, because that is the most important thing at the end of it. But, the league has their ruling system, and we have to respect that, not only as players and as organizations, and find ways to coach it up better. And the guys have to find a way to do it better so that, they don't rule it that way. So, yeah, man, that's just where we're at.
Everybody who's sick of watching that hit in slow motion, put up your hand. I guess I'm here for 3 hours a day, 4 days of the week. Roberto Garbaggio, that is a fine.
I called it. And the minute he got the roughing the passer, you knew it was going to be a fine. There was no ifs, ands, or buts. It wasn't like they were going to say, no, we screwed it up that on the field. There's no fine. Like, the minute you take that penalty, you're getting a fine. There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
I disagree. I'm like, penalize it, let him move. It is such a good, like I said to Farhan, coaching football, it's so hard to coach young kids that are going fast. They are a little, I guess, the young kids are a little more erratic. So their heads and everything, all that. On that play, it's like he is coming in real speed so fast. And he's like, I think he does, like he said, everything possible. So, yeah, 15 for sure, because that's where we live in this day and age. I watched a Bantam AA hockey game last night, Greg. And I don't rip on refs often, especially when they're kids. These guys were grown men. The penalties that were called in a body contact sport, I was like, come on, we are ruining it. We are wrecking the game. Those 3 of the 5 penalties were not, it was just kids being stronger. Hey, you get 2 minutes because you're stronger.
But to go back to what Farhan said in regards where he had him wide open, not blocked. So according I've seen this argument from many people. He had the ability to lower because he had a free shot. But look at what happened with Brown last year on that low hit on Strevler. He was being taken down by a Bomber offensive lineman, and the comment was he still needs to be able to control his body. At some point, there has to be common sense. Penalty, sure. Fine, no. But I swear, hand to God, if that hit was on Nick Arbuckle, we would not be talking about that hit right now.
Really?
I stand by that. I don't think so. I think it's because of Zach Collaros. It became an incident, and we're still going to talk about it because it's Zach Collaros.
Tough look for Nick. Coach Mace, he did talk about how you coach defensive players with the small quarterback strike zone.
You definitely want to protect the quarterbacks in really in any league. Now, I'd still like it, and not even pertaining to just this play, but prior, moving forward, it is a physical game, and man, they're really, really close, and it's hard to make those decisions moving fast, and it's not even truthfully as it pertains to the quarterback. It could be down the field as well, and it is tough. But I think the main thing is just the intent of it. I believe in the past of football and eternity, man, there's been some players who play with the intent, not the case, I think, for the most part. So the players, it's a brotherhood, whether you're on the same team or not. You don't ever want to see anything happen to another player that's going to cost them a situation where they can provide for their family, play for their teammates. But it is a physical sport, man. So I don't know where it's going to go from here or what it is now. Just, I want to make sure that there's still football being played, though, years from now, and not it's a different variation of it.
And unless you're Nick Arbuckle, then Greg says you're fair game.
I'm not saying Nick Arbuckle's fair game. I'm just saying that penalty wouldn't be called. But think about this, though. I'm actually getting tired of hearing about, we got to protect the quarterbacks. If I was a wide receiver or any other player, I'd be like, what about me? Like, why isn't anyone concerned about me taking a shot out in the air hole as much as anyone else? And don't get me wrong, there's penalties for that. But there's more given to the quarterbacks than there is any other
You want
player.
fair. You want fair across the board.
They're all playing football. It's a contact sport.
I know, but kind of the quarterback touches the ball every play.
As
he's most important. The center, I guess, too, if you want to argue.
The center's more important. Come on, it's the ultimate team game. That's all I hear.
Do you guys remember what your favorite quarterback, Tom Brady, said about the changing rules where it's favoring the offense more? Because, again, this is NFL, but it applies here. I forget, it was when he was still playing, but when they were changing the rules, and he's like, why should you be penalizing the defense for a good hit? When I was playing, I just knew, don't throw it in the middle because Ed Reed's there, and I'm going to lose my receiver for the game. Right? Like, we shouldn't be penalizing the offense, or for the defense, for the offense making a dumb decision.
Yes, but why they do, especially in the NFL, is because if Tom Brady is not playing, they're losing ratings, they're losing money. It's
100%.
targeting.
But at that point, it's not a player safety thing; it's a financial decision.
Exactly. and that green dollar makes the world go around.
And it speaks. I get it, but at the same time, if you're going to tell me it is about player safety, then let's just move to flags and let everyone on the same.
You know how many text messages with that exact we've had this week? We're like, just put flags on them.
That was my reaction. That was my reaction. Go back to the Twitter timeline when I saw that hit in real time. It was me and like everybody. What was going on?
All right, I'll tell you what we're gonna do here. Okay, everybody, we're putting flags on. We're playing flag football. Nick, not so fast.
Nick, you're still getting it in the ear hole.
Nick, you're getting blasted. Greg for the Piffles podcast is here. We're giving away chicken to the text of the day, 936-6262. It is a Sports Cage. We're streaming at sportscage.com, and we're on 620 CKRM. CFL is mourning the passing of Hamilton Tiger Cats GM Ted Govaya, longtime team executive, Grey Cup champion, remarkable leader in the Canadian football community. Riders, looks like game time decisions for Tavon Campbell and Marcus Sales. We're going to find out more tomorrow. Week 15 starts tonight. Winnipeg Blue Bombers at the Hamilton Tiger Cats, 5 p.m. our time. Ottawa Red Blacks travel into BC. Greg and I are taking Ottawa to cover on that one for some reason. Can West football, week 3, undefeated. University of Regina Rams at UBC, 7 p.m. We're starting the pregame show here on 620 CKRM at 6:45. High school football, the Boldus and Riffle. Campbell at Miller. Those are at Libel. And then Sheldon versus Tom. That's the Beat Cancer game, 5:15 at Mosaic Stadium. And then Balfour and Martin Luther under the bulb, 7:30 there. Major League Baseball, Baltimore Orioles, Toronto Blue Jays, 5 p.m. 3 games up in the AL East are the Blue Jays. Little Western Hockey League preseason in Moose Jaw, Saskatoon's in town. In Brandon, Swift Current pays a visit. And in the SJHL, Estevan is at Verdun, Melfort's at Humboldt, LaRange is at the Warman Wolverines. Forgot about them. In Hour 1, sports tickets for Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals, keeping you in hot and soft water. Call on Reliance. Text messages, 936-6262. We're going to award the chicken to the top text message. The favorite text message today. Haven't had many people saying they're going to the game/concert tomorrow night. So here, how much time do we have? I'm going to read what Real put out. Did you get this, Colson, for the streaming people? Okay, I'll read it. Parking, here it is. Parking at the Regina Exhibition Association Limited, Real, will be limited on Saturday due to several large attendance events. Because of the increased demand for on-site parking, we strongly encourage event goers to utilize alternative means of transportation, such as public transit, taxi, or ride sharing. Ask a friend or family member to drop and pick up patrons nearby or park off-site. But please be respectful to the surrounding neighborhoods. Do not block driveways, crosswalks, or impede the flow of traffic. If patrons choose to park on site at the Real District, they acknowledge that exiting the grounds will take some time and patience will be requested. We expect all patrons to be courteous and respectful to other guests. Good luck. Real's parking attendants and will follow their direction. Real parking attendants should get danger pay tomorrow.
I'm pretty sure that comment about being patient was directed by you. I thought that you had Barney in front of it.
I was patient. It was the guy with the Quill Plains
Dodge
Buick, white Buick that game that I let in because I'm a let in guy. He didn't wave, and then he went through the 5 rows and didn't let anyone in. That's in the noodle forever. I wish I would have taken down the license plate. I don't think I would have thrown that out here. I'm not that much of a D, but it's seriously, man, you got a Rider game. Then you got Keith Urban. And the Cougars are playing hockey at the Cooperators. I know the Cougar, okay, they're only going to draw a few. Then there's a psychic. We couldn't put the psychic somewhere else. Couldn't put the psychic at the Italian club.
They couldn't see this coming?
Yeah, I was going to say. Couldn't see it coming. Like what?
Jeez Louise. Oh, it is going to be gross. I told our building maintenance guy here, we call him Mazer. He's an absolute beauty. He drives Uber. I said, Maze, I need you tomorrow night, bud. I need you in the pocket tomorrow. You are my guy. I was like, it is going to be so busy for you. And he's trying to comprehend. He's from Bangladesh. He's trying to comprehend why there's a football game and a concert at the same place.
So I'm like, and I live here.
buddy, we are trying to figure out the same thing. I didn't even want to blow his mind with the hockey game and the psychic and all of this. It's going to be out of control. Oh, and then Bravo Real last night. Cooperator Center, like I said, Bantam kids trying to make hockey teams. Lots of parents, lots of grandparents, people watching the game. 6 o'clock. Bars closed. Not open. Smart business. Whoa. It's a Sports Cage, Hour 2. We got the voice of the Montreal Alouettes, Sean Campbell, coming up. We also got John Nasty Mirasty, and we're going to hear from Jamarcus Hardrick. We're streaming at sportscage.com and on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM. Hour 2, welcome back. Like you said, is for Nelson Holmes on Friday. Hard to believe it's Friday. Some weeks seem to be dragging on. This one blew by. Supplying home packages and RTMs for over 65 years, our friends at Nelson Homes. Prairieland Rentals text line. Trevor. He said, Pat's PA game last night in Yorkton. All right game. Schultz, Pugh, and Howe from PA were the best players on the ice, in my opinion. Last half of the third period was nothing but penalties. In Yorkton. Those are the kind of text messages that might win you. Free 6-piece bucket feast from KFC. 6 pieces of chicken and 2 large sides. We had this debate with Luc the other day. I think it was with Luc. What sides does the guy go? What sides would you get? KFC.
Fries, macaroni salad every time.
Fries and mac salad, eh? What about you just get a little gravy?
You just skip the salad and get the gravy.
Or just go double gravy?
I've
Just
never gone
dip
to
chicken.
just dip chicken and gravy.
Oh, so good. That's our text of the day. Prairieland Rentals text line or on the YouTube channel. Colson's going to pick it. You're going to walk away with a free 6-piece bucket feast because tomorrow, KFC, End Zone Big Crunch, all participating Saskatchewan KFCs, $4.95 on game days. And then the Big Crunch combo, $7.95. So there you go. Thunder. Let's talk about the Regina Thunder. Home to the Winnipeg Rifles. They're 2-2. Thunder's 3-1. 1 o'clock on Sunday. That could be in the elements.
That could be in the elements, and that could also be a powder keg of a game. Those Winnipeg Thunder games are really chippy. And considering it's the first one of a home and home, it's going to be pretty wild.
Winnipeg beat the Hilltops, didn't they?
They did beat the Hilltops, but then they lost to the Colts this past weekend, so they're probably extra angry.
What's going on? And the guys missing is
the PFC this year has been wild. Like, this is the first time since I can remember there's not an undefeated team or a team that has no wins. So everyone has beaten everybody at least once this year.
Sunday is also Pack the Park, Regina Minor Football Day. Thunder welcome all players and coaches wearing their team jerseys to watch the game for free. Rams and UBC 6:45 pregame show right here on 620 CKR Ram. Then we have the kickoff. Brendan McGuire has the play-by-play. Rams are 3-0 against the 1-1 UBC Thunderbirds. And again, we talked about it off the hop. UBC is always a sketchy place to play for Saskatchewan teams.
And UBC is usually a bit of a wagon. This year they're kind of having a bit of a downswing, which I don't like hearing because former Thunder running back Sadiq's out that way. We're in number 2.
They beat Manitoba in game 1, which was an upset.
Yep.
And then, so the Rams are ranked 6th in the nation, and the Huskies are ranked 5th. So, lots. Hey, Rams, Thunder, Riders, great football. You can't watch the Rams game unless you got a PJ and you're on your way right now. But if nothing else, you can listen to it right here on 620 CKRM. Back to the Riders in Montreal game and Keith Urban concert.
And the
Psychic Fair or whatever it is. And the hockey game at C6.
And the parking circus.
And the farmer's market.
What time's the farmer's market on? Like that's either really good or really bad. Like if you want to crush a beer stick, maybe some beef jerky.
Some gluten-free baking.
Yeah.
9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Sorry,
so
9 to 1?
9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So they're in and out.
Tailgate. That's tailgate beer sticks. The problem about
get some fresh celery.
Going with my wife to the game tomorrow, but it's 5 o'clock kickoff. There's no way we're going at 4 o'clock and she's dieseling beers in Vic Park. But if it was that farmer's market throws a monkey wrench because every time, I don't know what your wife's like, it's like, oh, we got carrots and sourdough bread and beet something or other and all that. I'm like, how are you gonna carry this around for starters? You're trying to go to a football game, but so that's good that ends at 1 o'clock. Do you know anything about the Psychic, Colson?
I'll see what I can find. I haven't found it yet.
Just put it in the universe; it'll come to you.
Where is that located? Is it at the future House of Blues?
I think it's in the Queensbury, the convention center upstairs.
Oh, so that's going to be even better.
Oh, imagine if you get a parking spot in that little Queensbury lot tomorrow earlier in the day. You think you're boss. This is really good. You might not get out till Monday morning. And then like we said,
Going to the soccer center and trying to get out of there.
yeah. And then, so Real put out the release, obviously take rideshare, take public transit, get a friend to drop you off, a neighbor. You said a bike. I know a lot of people that bike to Rider games. It's a smart play.
That bike valet is underused.
Yeah. What other kind of ways could you guys said rollerblades? If you're a rollerblade guy or girl.
Skydive, let me fan man your way in there.
My kid saved up his own money, bought one of those e-bikes that are popular right now.
Oh, yeah.
I almost got him to double me to one of the taverns in the North End the other day. And like, can you drop Dad off? Instead, the wife just dropped me off. But no, that's it's going to be really, really, really hectic tomorrow night and tomorrow afternoon at the Real facility. Again, Real, take a seat because not having the bar open last night at the Cooperators. I don't even know if it'll be open today. I know there's another game at 6:00 today. If you don't want to make money, I get it. But business plan wise, open up the bar when there's a bunch of hockey parents that want to drink and eat.
It's funny. I never really noticed how you could. I didn't even know you could. I thought you could just watch like the first two rinks.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you could grab a beer and go all the way down upstairs until way too late in Connor's hockey season last year.
And you would just think that you'd want to make that so convenient for people to have a pint while watching, especially big tournaments, and they don't. They just want to make it more difficult. I know. Hey, sorry, I'm throwing Real under the bus here. 936-6262. If you work there and you want to debate this all day long, I will. Little fired right now. It's Friday. We're having fun. It's for Nelson Holmes. Back to the Riders.
You don't want your psychic fair update?
Yes, I do. Obviously, I'm not psychic. Go ahead.
Regina Psychic and Crystal Fair started yesterday, goes till Sunday. Every day from, I had it here, every day from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m., 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Saturday, and 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sunday. $10 admission.
Well, now I guess I can go swing by and get my crystals before I go to the Rider game. I didn't realize it was a whole fair.
There's door prizes too.
Oh.
Talk about the trifecta. Rider game, Keith Urban, duck out a little early, go grab some crystals.
There you go.
And prior to, you bought some sourdough bread and a bag of carrots.
And some beets.
What a life. What a world. Back to the Riders. Tavon Campbell and Marcus Sales are game time decisions. Last weekend in the rematch in Winnipeg, it was, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm so rattled right now. Not historic, but monumental. Jamarcus Hardrick played his 150th game in this. That is with the injury that guy had last year, which I thought
could have been it. A man that big losing his legs,
his age,
at his age,
what he's won.
Yeah, like everyone could have been like, yeah, okay, he's done. He's had a full career. He's fine. But the fact that he's back this year and playing exceptional football is amazing.
And plus 2,000 odds that he becomes a coach.
Oh, 100%.
He's such a motivational. He could be a motivational speaker. He is such a workhorse. He's so great. Dave Thomas caught up with the legend Jamarcus Hardrick.
Jamarcus Hardrick, first 150 games. Congratulations. What does that number mean to you?
150. I mean, a lot of people trusted me. I mean, got a lot of chances. A lot of people helped me, my family, coaches, players. Yeah, still learning how to be a pro. A lot of people helped me be a pro for sure.
I know your team first, but did you take a moment to celebrate? Because that's a heck of an achievement in pro football.
A little bit on the plane ride. Thought about it a little bit, but wanted that banjo bowl the most. But, yeah, I thought about it a little bit. Didn't celebrate it too much, but definitely called my wife. We had a little thing on the phone or whatever. But, yeah, celebrated a little bit, but nothing crazy.
You've been a veteran in this league, and I'm going to pose to you the question that fans are asking me. You look at your 10-2 record right now, and they say, well, what's the difference from last year? And I look around and I'm like, I can't pinpoint it. What is the difference from this team this year, right now, over where this group was at this time last year?
Well, I was at home, so I don't know. But I was at home, but I just say guys are playing for each other. Guys are loving on each other. Guys are having each other back. No one's going to be perfect. No one's going to have a perfect game. So defense is helping us when we need it. We're helping them when we need. Special teams coming when no one's working. Just guys loving on each other, having it back. That's the biggest thing. And
that guy's a beauty.
Oh, awesome guy. I'm so glad he's a Rider again.
Tonight at Mosaic Stadium, we talked a little high school football. We had Friday night lights. We teed everything up. There's a bunch of games going on around the province. Thanks to everyone. But the Sheldon-Tom game, 5:15, is the Beat Cancer game. It's a big deal. I know they're going to have more about it tomorrow on the Rough Rider broadcast. When we talk about that, to give you a rundown of what they have, the countdown to kickoff starts at 2 p.m. Tegan Whitco, West Case, Justin Dunk will have their guests. Chris Best, Alex Smith Sr., Plaza of Honor inductees,
Former
right?
Thunder coach.
Yeah, that's right. Rider legend and TSN analyst, a fellow by the name of Glenn Suter. Rider receiving legend, Jeff Fairholm, and Today in Rider History. So that's coming up tomorrow. Again, everything starts here on the home of the Riders at 2 p.m. Update from the flag football tournament. What was it? The Americas? It's got like 8 names that we've talked. The what?
The Continentals.
The Continent. I think it's more than that, but okay, we'll go with the Continentals. Canada beat Brazil 32-13 to go to 2-0. They also beat Guatemala this morning 40-6. The women were spanking Argentina. I'm not quite sure what the final was. I was actually watching that game. That's why I kind of lost on the prep work I was doing for the show, because I'm just focused on watching the flag football. The feed's actually really good. It looks like Canada won 28-0 over Argentina. So the women are 1-0, the men are 2-0. A little update there from the flag football. Let's go to break.
56-0 for the women.
Oh, 56. That was that halftime score. 56-0. The Argentinians took it on the chin today. Canada actually looked really good. 936-6262, Paradigm Rentals text line. Text of the day, winning some chicken. Also, we're going to come back. We're going to talk clutch performer, and then John Nasty Mirasty, and then voice of the Alouettes, Sean Campbell. Still more to come. It's the Sports Cage, streaming at sportscage.com. First clutch performer. I think Colson's got a non-clutch performer that he's going to share right away. But me, I want to go to the Wynyard Golden Bears. Although they won yesterday against Lanigan, 34-14 in a little Conference 3 6A football. They gave former Golden Bear coach, was honored with a reserve parking spot. George Lamb family. I don't know the history behind it. They sent a nice picture of it. George is there in his mobility chair. So awesome job, everybody out there with the Wynyard Golden Bears. And then speaking of Wynyard, later we got Prairie Golf Gems. We're going to look at the Wynyard little 9-banger, the little 9-hole course there. Talked to Paul Lenzik, said it's an absolute gem. So that's coming up in hour 3. Do you got a clutch performer?
I'm going in generalities. Teddy Gavaya, general manager of the Hamilton Tiger Cats, a longtime CFL scout, official, everything. And he passed away this morning, a fight with cancer, a long fight with cancer. And so tonight, they just happened to be they were honoring him tonight anyway, but it just kind of ironic, coincidental the way it happened.
That is, yeah. And Farhan had some really great words about him and what he meant. Are you done, Colson? I know you have a non-clutch performer. We always love the non-clutch performers as well. Colson has, if you're watching the stream, it's actually funny.
I'm whipping the graphic up so people can see it. So stall for me.
Okay, do you want me to go to another non-clutch performer? Real. For not having the bar open last night when it's buzzing with hockey and tryouts and exhibition games, and it's a Thursday, and if it's not open tonight,
Barney's going to lose it.
No, I don't care. I wasn't going to drink last night anyway, but I know there was a group of 7 dads that were just like shaking, foaming at the mouth. All they wanted was a couple of pints. Why not open it? Why are you in that business if you can't open it? Contract it out. Like that makes the union. Okay, fine. Let's eliminate that problem. Contract it out to someone that just wants to make money.
And just like even as a food spot, like why is that not open? If you've got a full set of rinks going, make money. It blows my mind.
Okay, I got my graphic ready. So if you're watching the stream, you'll see it. The New Mexico University decided to put in a new logo on their turf, and they also decided to do an outline of the state with their logo. The state outline is in a different colored turf. It looks like they just had to put a new logo on the turf, and they just put a new stitch in the middle of the field, and it completely doesn't match. Because like if this was Texas with a unique shape, cool.
Exactly.
It's New Mexico.
They have the most boring state out. They're the Saskatchewan of the states.
It could have been worse. It could have been Wyoming or Colorado.
Is true.
Same thing as Mexico, though. All Mexico has is those like little those little Tetris things at the bottom.
At least it's got a little bit of flavor. At least it's not a rectangle.
That's a good find, Colson. That who proofed that? Oh yeah, that's gonna look really good. Let's put it. But I have so many jokes that I want to use, but I can't. Clutch performer always for Nick Service in Emerald Park, your local Massey Ferguson Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fent dealer. Dave on the YouTube chat says real managers look at their payroll and not their bottom line. Same problem with the Tims. They would rather have a line of 30 people every morning than put an extra employee. Poor management. I heard the Tims had to go because they wanted it to the renovation and all. I think that was a line that we were fed. We did a Monday Nooner thing a long time ago. It's not the staff because they always have too many staff on. The one thing I will give them, there's a lot of doors there.
Ton of doors.
So because that thing, like really, the rinks are slapped together. You're a roof guy. You know this. I heard it was slapped together. Let's just get it done as cost effective as possible because really the big thing is agribition and used to be Canada's farm show. But agribition's huge. They need those things to buzz for that 10 days or week or whatever it is. So the leaky roof thing aside, they have so much staff, and I feel sorry for some of them because I don't think they know what they're supposed to be doing there. Fair. Like tomorrow with the parking staff, as if you are going to put some of those people out there in their orange coats with possibly an orange stick, they might just have to use old school finger. No one's going to listen to them. It's too packed. Get the cops. Like when you go to an NFL game. Yeah. Hire the police. And maybe it's like, hey, you don't know police. They don't want to work overtime. I know a couple of our best that are working overtime tomorrow for the game. Parkin, what do you got, Colson? Colson's basically telling me to shut up at this point of the program. We got more coming up. We're going to talk to the voice of the Montreal Alouettes. You want me to go to break first? Or go? Okay. Right now, let's go to break, and we'll come out of break. It's the Sports Cage. We're streaming at sportscage.com, and we're on 620 CKRM. Welcome back to the Sports Cage, whether you're watching the stream or listening on the radio. Thanks so much for taking some time here today. It is time for the Indigenous Sports Spotlight, brought to you by Freeze Tallman Lumber in Fort Capel and Regina. Whatever you need to get that fall job done, or if you're stuck planning the winter jobs, maybe inside. Freeze Tallman, no need to go to the big box stores. They can help you out with everything. Right now, the window and door sale is on. All weather, at-home windows purchased at Freeze Tallman until September 19th. Right now, save 15%. So if those windows are a little sketch for you, Freeze Tallman in Regina and Fort Capel can help you out. They are the sponsor of the Indigenous Sports Spotlight. Let's talk about the Western Canada Professional Hockey Scouts Foundation event coming up on the National Day of Truth and Reconciliation, September 30th. Now, Boss Lubricants stepped up. They're the ticket sponsor now. So if you want to go to this event, this hot stove, Brian Trottier, Tiger Williams, Jordan Tutu, the King brothers, a gentleman we're going to hear from here right away in John Mirasty. Right now, tickets are only $150, individual seats. So if you want to find a couple lady friends or a couple of buddies, you can go to that. And then table of 8, only $1,100. A table of 8, $1,100. So Boss Lubricants stepped up as the ticket sponsor. HockeyScoutsFoundation.com. It's coming up September 30th. You get a nice meal, the hot stove, all these ex-NHLers. There's going to be some great stories. Like I said, one of the gentlemen that will be there that night from up north in Saskatchewan. Let's have a chat with him. John Mirasty joining us from Flying Dust First Nation. John, coming up here on September 30th, the big event, like I mentioned, Western Canada Professional Scouts Foundation. You're coming in to speak. First off, coming in to speak, Scouts, there's going to be a lot of big names there. But Indigenous hockey and doing it on the Day of Truth and Reconciliation, where do you think Indigenous hockey has come, where we sit in 2025, maybe compared to even your junior days?
I think we've progressed quite a bit with the Indigenous players. Having some of the guys that are actually going to be there next week or at the end of the month, guys like Ron Delorme, Trache, a lot of guys, the list goes on. Jordan Tutu, Dwight King, DJ King, myself. The generations have kind of showed people that we can do it. Myself, I grew up on a reserve, broken family, and I was able to leave and make a career of it, right? But that was because I looked forward to guys like Gino Ojic, Chris Simon, a lot of these late guys too. So it's came a long way. I know, especially in Saskatchewan, the Indian hockey tournaments, they're getting bigger and bigger every year, more competitive, and so it's been fun. So yeah, it's like I said, it's going in a good direction. Even in the NHL, you're getting a lot more Indigenous players. Like currently, Ethan Bear, there's a lot of guys there. Montour, there's so many more players there. Where before there's maybe one or two in the league, and now maybe one per team almost with some kind of Indigenous background.
Do you a lot of times kind of step back and go, wow, like I remember looking up to guys, and now there's kids, looking up to me, wanting my autograph, asking me questions. Is it kind of a pinch yourself moment sometimes for you?
Oh, 100%. I kind of, that's what I do now is make a lot of public appearances with other, NHL celebrities, acting celebrities. So it's pretty cool to think, those were guys that I once looked up to, a guy like Darren McCarty, I grew up watching him win the Stanley Cup with the Red Wings, and now he's messaging me every day, saying, are we going to fight in the Shoresy Fall Classic again? And, it's just cool, guys like Frank Bialowas, there's even guys that I looked up to as a kid that I ended up fighting when I was in the pro levels. So, Gino Ojic being one of those guys. And so, yeah, it's pretty cool. And I mean, it's inspiring, and it's good for me now to give back to our youth. Right now I'm very busy with our First Nations youth, and I think it's very important just to, be able to lead try to be a role model and show kids that there's possible ways out there, especially the way our world's going today.
If somebody tells you 20 years ago that you're going to be acting and you're going to be on the series and you're going to be touring around with Shoresy, I'm sure you kind of look at them sideways. What's up with Shoresy, and what are you guys doing? Shoresy,
it's been a great opportunity, obviously. The success that it's had the last 4 or 5 years, I think it's 2021 or 2020 when it started. It's gotten so big. We're right now finished filming season 5. It's about to be released this fall. We've also got the Shoresy Fall Classic coming up, where we travel to NHL cities and play their alumni. Last year we did 5 cities. This year we're doing 8 cities. 5 are public knowledge, but the 3 will get exciting because we're coming out west. But yeah, it's gonna be a good time, and yeah, great group of guys, and it's always an honor. 2 other Indigenous players that paved the way. Jordan Nolan, 2-time Stanley Cup champion. Brandon Nolan, he's played for the Carolina Hurricanes. Gym number 2 and 3. I always say I'm the best looking Jim, but Jordan will probably try to fight me for that one. Even their dad, Ted Nolan, that's another Indigenous guy, but they're all out east though. Yeah. But guys like that have really, paved the way for others.
You mentioned some of the guys coming. What kind of stories can you share? Maybe is there a fun one? Maybe like, let's say Jordan Tutu, right? Kind of in the same demographic. You got any good Tutu stories?
Yeah, I got lots of Tutu stories, but no, he's a great guy. I got to know him really good over the last year here. We've been to a few appearances together. I know he's going to be at this event as well. But I guess maybe back in the day when I had my first NHL game was against Tutu, and we had some words of wisdom, and let's just say we weren't friends at the time, so it got kind of ugly. But like I said, he's another guy that's done awesome wonders for Indigenous community. One of the most successful, guys out there that's done well. And if he ever tells his story, I know he has, I don't want to sell him on this, but, he has his documentary coming out. I know we just spoke this past weekend. We were in Kamloops together for the Orange Jersey game. But, it was very exciting. And like I said, he's another guy that's really paved that way.
Absolutely. For yourself, and I know a lot of people are going to want to hear John Nasty Mirasty stories on the Nooner. We just had Biz on, and Biz kind of threw it out there. Maybe I should come lace him up and play senior and go at Mirasty again. What would be a rebuttal to that? And are your senior hockey days done?
I don't know, to be honest. The last couple of years I was getting a little bit older, and I don't like to be mean, but I don't know how to turn that switch off, right? So you get, with today's game, players are a lot more mouthy, but there's nothing to that to back that up. So, but what really drove me was my 20-year-old son was going to university in Saskatoon. So that's the only reason I really played the last couple of years. And then he ended up leaving last year, not playing. So I took a year off. But again, back to the Shoresy Fall Classic, the first half of the year I was pretty much on the road traveling with that, so I wouldn't be fair to take a roster spot.
I'm sure a lot of people are looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun, and you can share more stories in a few weeks in Regina here. Thanks a lot for doing this, John.
Anytime, my friend. It was a pleasure talking.
The legend, John Nasty Mirasty. He will be here. There'll be so many greats, like I said, Brian Chache, Tiger Williams, Jordan Tutu, the King brothers. You can run Delorme. It's going to be great. September 30th. Tickets only $150. You get a nice meal, Connexus Arts Center, or a table of 8, $1,100. Boss Lubricant stepped up. You can get your tickets at HockeyScoutsFoundation.com. That was the Indigenous Sports Spotlight for Freeze Tallman Lumber in Regina and Fort Capel. Anything you need to get that fall job done, or if you're planning the winter job, they can help you if you're a do-it-yourselfer, or they can find someone that can do it. And then also the all-weather window and door sale is on right now. 15% off up until September 19th. So save some money there. Freeze Tallman in Fort Capel and Regina. It is a Sports Cage. We're streaming at sportscage.com, and we're on the home of local sports in Saskatchewan, 620 CKRM. All right, if you haven't heard, game time decisions for Marcus Sayles and Tavon Campbell tomorrow as the Riders take on the Montreal Alouettes. Week 15 starts tonight. Bombers are at the Tiger Cats, and then the Ottawa Redblacks. Who knows what to expect there? They're at the BC Lions. Can West Football, University of Regina Rams, UBC Thunderbirds. You can hear it right here on 620 CKRM. Pre-game show, 6:45. Kickoff at 7 o'clock. High school ball tonight. Laboldus Riffle, 5:15. Campbell at Miller, 7:30. Those are at Libel. And then Sheldon and Tom, it's the Beat Cancer game at Mosaic Stadium. That's at 5:15. Balfour Martin Luther at 7:30. Major League Baseball, Jays and Orioles getting fired up here in moments. Little Western Hockey League preseason. The Warriors welcome the Blades. Brandon plays host to the Swift Current Broncos. In hour 2, it's for Extreme Hockey and Sport, home of the price match guarantee. Check out Bauer Days tomorrow. Shooting lanes, Regina Pat Canadians on hand. You can win skates and a whole bunch more. The local shop, Extreme Hockey and Sport. All right, back here. Greg's with me from the Piffles podcast. Colson's in the pocket, talking Riders, talking Alouettes. Joining us, voice of the Montreal Alouettes, and he made the trek. He braved the mean streets of Regina. He came into the studio here. Sean Campbell making some time. Sean, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for the invite. This is awesome. Yeah, I've joined you guys before, but this is fun to be in studio. I'm a radio guy, so I'm looking in and around, looking out the window. I could see people. This is nice.
It's raining now, so if anyone's listening, I can give them a lift back to Hotel Sask, maybe a couple blocks, but you'll be okay. Game tomorrow, McLeod, Bethel, Thompson. That's the word. That's what's going to happen?
Yes, it'll be McLeod, Bethel, Thompson. Everybody was maybe thinking coming off the 6-game injured list, Davis Alexander, but had a chance to chat with Danny Machocha this week, and he's like, he's feeling good. And then I followed up. I go, so he's feeling great. How close? He goes, I didn't say he was feeling great. I said he was feeling good. We're waiting for him to feel great. Words matter. So that's kind of where we're at.
It sounds like my wife. It's semantics.
Yes.
Okay, but McCulloch Bethel Thompson also, they pulled him off early. So how is he going to be? Because they went out and signed Dukes. They obviously had Morgan in. Where's he actually at?
Well, I think he has the best understanding of the offense. And the other thing you have to look at, when McLeod Bethel Thompson was in, he didn't have Mac or Philpott. He didn't have those guys in the offense. Now, those guys are back, so that's going to help him. Hopefully, they'll be able to get the ball downfield. That's the biggest problem since Davis Alexander's left. They just haven't been able to throw the ball downfield. It's McLeod Bethel Thompson, when he was in, longest throw in a game was 17 yards. It's just not enough. But I think he has a good understanding. Health-wise, they put him on the 6th game, but they knew he was a 2 to 4 week injury. And now the situation calls that, hey, you're coming off the 6th. We'll worry about the cap later.
You expected the Riders to do a lot of running of the ball against the defensive line?
I look at the defensive line, and they just got Mustafa Johnson back, and you have Sean Oakman in there. You have Dylan Wynn. These guys stop the run. These guys know what to do to stop the run. And you're up against Hamilton, who doesn't run and doesn't run well, and then Greg Bell goes off. I think that's an invitation for a team like Saskatchewan to run the ball. But I do think they have the pieces to stop the run. What was happening is Greg Bell was able to kind of just get to that second level, and it's almost like when Sankey went right, he went left. He read the linebackers really well.
So what can the Riders expect coming out of Montreal? Obviously, Montreal's a desperate team right now. They're fighting for a playoff spot when everyone thought they would be in easy first or second place.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a lot of fight. The one thing is they are still a united group. This is a team that's lost 5 games in a row. I've been around some Alouettes teams in the past that have lost 5 games in a row, but the circumstances are a little bit obvious. You're down to your 4th string quarterback. You don't have your starter. At one point, they were missing 11 starting players. Like, how can you win in the CFL when you're missing 11 starting players? Danny McCulloch said, we were just trying to fill up a 43-man roster. We just wanted to make sure that we had enough bodies. They were calling people. They got their returner back, James Letcher Jr. That's going to be a factor. The defense is as healthy as it's been all season. So I think they're going to put up a fight. It really depends if they can get if they could just get to 25 points offensively, that should be able to help, because maybe the defense can help them out too.
Radio show's doing win your chance to play with the Alouettes this week. That many guys out. Is there a little feel maybe within the group and the organization of 2023, let's get healthy down the stretch and see what happens?
Oh, there's been a lot of, we've been down this path before. You get that. We know what we can do. We know what kind of team we are. We know that at the end of the season is the time to get, rolling a little bit. So they're hoping that everything is going to be that. But you're right. I've heard a lot of that when asked the questions, post-game comments. We've been down this path before. We have pretty much still a lot of the same core, especially when it comes to the coaching staff. So it's the same message.
Dave Thomas said that Trevor Harris is saying that about the Alouettes.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the only difference is they don't have Cody Fajardo dropping F-bombs in a pregame speech.
Yeah. They saved that for the Grey Cup, though.
Yeah, I guess. Right. But that Northrop defense is suffocating. It's been, I wouldn't say exposed this year, but it has not been what it usually is. Is that just personnel, or people are starting to finally figure out what Northrop does?
I would say that there's one part where you could see offenses really try and do the hurry up against the Als defense, because Northrop still calls the plays from the sideline once he sees. So if you go into the hurry up, it kind of delays. Watch the Als defense. They're all staring to their right, looking for their coach in red to make the sign so they can go. There was that 2 to 3 week span where they didn't have Marc-Antoine Dequoy. And then they were using different players like Hutter or Hamlin. And because of his speed and his ability to get down into the box, it limited their play calls. It really limited their play calls. So they just really had to, when he was out, they just kept their safety back. And then they didn't have that extra body in the box. So through this losing, the injuries did kind of pile up a little bit. But now they're healthy. I'm expecting a good performance from the defense. I expected a good performance, but they had a little tough time against the run against Hamilton last week. So we'll see. But I still think that they all believe in what Noel Thorpe is preaching out there.
I think I asked you this the last time when we were coming to play there. Weeks later now, in your eyes, calling games, who's the team to beat in the league?
Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
Saskatchewan and Montreal, when Montreal was 5-2, you were kind of looking at both teams and you're looking at the way that they're built. You're like, they're very similar. You have a quarterback that wants the high completion percentage. You're going to run the ball when you can run the ball, and solid defense. It's really good special teams. That's what the Owls were at 5-2. Now you've lost 5 in a row. You look at the stats around the league, things are falling apart. If they get their health back and they start looking like Saskatchewan, that's still on the table. It's the CFL. There's 9 teams. Like, let's be honest. But yeah, there's no doubt about it. For me, it's Saskatchewan's the best team.
But what do you make of Toronto right now?
That's so we're going to Toronto next week. So get a first-hand view. I'm interested in their quarterback situation, what's going to happen there. Yeah. Nick Arbuckle was like, "Oh, the season's lost." He's putting up some great numbers. That's a team I think you have to watch out for because they're getting warm right now. But then the Alouettes would say it's not about getting warm in August, September. You got to make sure that you're rolling in October and November. So haven't seen them in a little bit, but Toronto next week, first-hand in Toronto, should be interesting.
Well, you look at the other teams like Cody Fajardo has turned the Elks around. So as we guess, they only have 5 wins, but they're looking good right now. They could play spoiler to either an East or a West team here.
Owls only have 5 wins and they're in second place.
Exactly.
So, I mean, I know what they wanted to do with the Elks in Edmonton there, but I know who Cody Fajardo is, and I was like, why aren't you starting this guy?
Well, we know it here.
Yeah, why don't you start this guy? You're going to win more games.
Yeah.
I think they'd have probably 2 more wins on the season if they started him from the get-go.
I think in your black book, Colson, we called it like they need to put him in by end of June there. And, okay, let's a little bit of Montreal Canadian talk here.
Sure, that's what I do every day.
John the Habs fan, who you've said he's been to a game and he calls into your show. He's on the line. John, are you there?
I am. How you doing, Barney? Hey, Sean.
Hey, John. What's going on?
Not much, man. How's it going? I remember I said on your show that the Riders are going to absolutely pound the Alouettes.
Yeah, you did say that.
Yes. And I can't wait till the Habs start, man. I'm pumped, Sean. I can't wait to call into your show after the wins and the losses, as you know I do as well.
Well, the Habs this year, man, I'll tell you, this is the team that I think everybody's circled. I think everybody's circled across the National Hockey League with what they did last year, with the direction that they're going, with the players that they acquired. Noah Dobson's a huge acquisition. Ivan Demidov is the rookie to watch. Lane Hudson. I mean, the Canadians might get the back-to-back rookies of the year at this stage.
John, we will.
We will. Okay.
Yep. Was it you and I, John, debating the other day about the biggest pressure cooker in the league?
Yep, it was.
Okay, let's get Sean's take on it. Because all this talk, Connor McDavid, he's going to go to Toronto. I'm like, why would you go into that pressure cooker? And John debated that there's more pressure in Montreal than Toronto. And I'm like, Toronto every year. At least Montreal last year, they weren't expected to win the cup.
I will say the pressure is different for different players in Montreal. Being a francophone player in Montreal, I think that pressure is at another level. A player, just a random player, I understand what the pressure cooker of Toronto. Just ask Mitch Marner, and what he's had to go through, and would Connor McDavid want to go through that? No. The rumors are that Connor McDavid wants to go to Montreal. That's where he wants to sign.
And I've said that, Sean.
I'm just playing around. I'm just making sure John goes to bed happy tonight.
You just made John's week.
No, we've been dealing with the whole Sidney Crosby speculation, so don't worry about that. We have that one in our back pocket too.
Okay, we're up against the clock, John. Thanks so much for calling.
Sean, see you, Sean.
Right on. Sean, thanks so much for making it. I'm actually going to drive him because it's pouring rain now. So I'm going to boot him home. To the hotel. So if I'm not back, you and Luke got to start it. Okay.
All right. Sit in the big chair.
We're good. We're good. It's the Sports Cage. We're streaming at sportscage.com. We're on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM. Out of breath. That's what I have. Zipped him over to the Hotel Sask. That's some legit hail coming down. Take care if you're walking around downtown. There's no way I'm making them walk back to the hotel after coming to hang out with us. If you just missed the Sean Campbell voice of the Alouettes was in studio. It's hour 3. We got Luc Mullinder coming up here in a bit. We got Prairie Golf Gems. We're going to look at the Wynyard Golf Course. And then we're also got Farhan Lalji as well. But let's go out on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline with the hail and the rain and all that. Probably a good night to. I know we were gonna make pizzas in the wife's new pizza oven tonight. That might be on the shelf. We might have to pick up a wheel from Western Pizza. Color commentator for the Rider broadcast, Luc Mullinder, is joining us on the line. I don't know if it's hailing up in your neck of the woods, Luc. We got some weather coming in. It's starting to hit the studio windows as well here. Let's start with that. Tomorrow, elements. We could have some rain. Could be a wet, soggy game. Benefit the Riders?
Well, I think this game's leaning towards Saskatchewan anyways, and I think that's probably one of the biggest problems. If there has ever been I don't believe in trap games, right? But, the Alouettes are coming in here, and they're really struggling. So I think that, obviously, even if it's wet and rainy, I think the game this is a game that was going to be decided probably in the run game anyways. The Alouettes have really struggled to stop the run as of late. And Saskatchewan, you guys know their offense is predicated on being able to run the football and balance and control the tempo. So if it rains, I think it's even more in favor of Saskatchewan. But I don't like saying that because, again, you don't want to just, give a win to a team. They get paid too. I don't care how many injuries and stuff they have. You got to come ready.
Well, Yoshi was talking about you don't celebrate a bye week twice. So obviously they're going into the bye week. Sales and Campbell are game time decisions. Do you just let them go into the bye week, or do you want everyone you can for this game?
Yeah, I want to win. Absolutely. I mean, this is you can clinch a playoff spot tomorrow, right? And there's no. This is one of those deals where it's like, oh, man, they're not a good team, so we're going to arrest you. Like, this isn't the end of the year. This isn't the beginning of the year in the preseason, right? You go out there and you need to compete, and you put the best roster out there to do that and get a win. Because the minute you overlook a team, that's when that team bites you, and it hurts, and you can cause an unnecessary spiral.
All the teams that you were on, all the teams you've been with on the broadcast side, this team, to me, Luc, any kind of sport, they don't seem like the kind of team that's going to take anybody lightly. Coaching staff starts with them.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the sort of the positive aspects of this whole thing, right? Is you have a team that has been focused on just doing the job and getting to 1-0 every single week. And one of the benefits of doing that is, again, we talked about this last time I was on air. We talked about this the week before, too. You just got to harness the things that you're doing really well and continue to improve on the things that you see on film despite winning. That's probably the hardest thing to do. It's not as hard in professional sports because your job's and there's money on the line, but at the same time, every time you win a game, especially in big fashion, or if you look at the film last time they played Montreal, I mean, that was dominating, right? Especially on the defensive side. The minute you stop looking for ways to improve and start feeling yourself, again, you're setting yourself up for failure, right? So you just this team has to continue to win the week. This team has to continue to prepare well, take care of their bodies, and again, I think that the coaching staff has done a good job ensuring that continues on a week-to-week basis.
Obviously, this team's been doing very well with every team not named the Calgary Stampeders, but one thing that has been suspect is their slow starts. What do you think they need to do to come out of the gate a little more fired up?
Well, you don't necessarily. I think that the things that you do well, you play solid defense, and you start to sort of insert your physical will on the team offensively, right? And I don't think that you always want to start fast. I think that for tomorrow, you've got to stay on schedule. I think that if you script some plays at the beginning, those have to be successful reps. I think that the minute you say, okay, starting fast is the priority, guys. So we're gonna dial up a play action bomb to Robustelli first play, right? That's fine. It would get the crowd going if it works. But is that the type of team you are? Probably not, right? I mean, we've seen some really gutsy calls from Mark Mueller offensively, but again, coming out and just trying to gash a team right away, that doesn't seem like them, right? And if you don't get that play, you put yourself in 2nd and 10, and then you have a wounded dog here. You don't want to let dogs up, right? Like when you see when a dog is hurt, this is a business where you've got to kick the dog and continually kick it when it's down. That's right. This is not UNICEF. This is not right. Like this is not someone's charity where we're going to be nice. This is a wounded dog, and so let's continue to kick.
It's like Punch Out, right? When you had Piston Honda or Bald Bull, and you had him, you got to finish him.
It's like when I play my son in FIFA, right? My son is going to lose 25-0. And he's gonna have to just, and if he wants it to ease up, he's gonna have to score goals. Dad is not gonna let him do that, right? So that's how you got to approach. This is how you got to approach the business, guys.
That's how we parent. I like that. I'm the same way. It's like there's no easy way outs. Survivor styles and Rocky.
Playing crib, it's all about the muggins. You don't get your points, I get yours.
That's a game I don't know how to play. I'm embarrassed to say I don't know how to play. I don't know how to play crib. Sorry, you might know this too. I'm not big ratio guy, but if Campbell doesn't go, how's that going to affect things at the ratio?
Well, it depends how other guys are, right? Like if Campbell doesn't go, I would assume Kerfali Exume gets some more reps. Not sure how that plays out because I don't think Lacombo's back either, right, guys? Like
no,
I don't think we've had major changes. So let's just say that. Actually, it's funny. Sorry, I actually got the roster right there.
The only change this week is Noel's out and Johnson's on.
Yeah. So if Campbell doesn't go, you probably go in and throw Exumi in there. You got to remember too, like you got guys like Dalkey who can play safety, right? And so if you needed to, you could throw Dalkey back there at safety. You could poke Kosi Onyeka over to the corner spot. All right, if Campbell declares early enough that he's not going to go, you could throw your 43rd or 44th guy on the 42-man playing roster, right? So they've still got some time, but I think that as long as you have the guys up front, that'll be where things are decided. You got to remember, guys. I mean, again, this is an Alouettes team that is really struggling. They're struggling in second down specifically, right? And obviously they've had some real quarterback inconsistency. They have a ton of wide receivers hurt, right? So what that tells me is, hey, let's get after the quarterback, right? Let's throw some pressure at him. We love the strong side blitz. We've seen Thurman be involved in the blitz. AJ Allen, he's great from the blitz standpoint, especially when it comes to timing. So let's throw some pressure at him. Let's make it easy on the secondary, right? Let's get one of these inexperienced quarterbacks thinking really quickly, and let's get him to throw up a duck, and maybe we can go get it.
Were you expecting CJ to get fined?
Was I expecting CJ? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's crazy that he got fined in my mind, and I haven't seen a GoFundMe to pay for CJ's fine. But if there was one, just shoot it to me, and I'll throw a 5 at it.
Here's an idea for Rider fans tomorrow. Pass the boot around the stadium. Pass the boot, just like at a wedding, and let people stuff it in there. Last week, Luke, Joe, second game back, kind of game and a half back. It's like the old hockey analogy or golf, gripping it too tight. Do you think he's maybe trying to do a little bit too much? I think we'll all expect him to settle in at some point here.
Yeah, no, I don't think he's trying to do too much. I think that he's doing some things well. He's again, you have to remember that he's a really physical receiver. He loves the blocking aspect of it. They've been using him in the block. He's when they were throwing those wide receiver screens, he was doing a good job blocking there. You just got to let the game come. I think that there's no pressure on a Joe, and I hope he's not putting too much pressure on himself. This is a well-rounded offense, and if you took a Joe out of it over the last 2 games, I don't think the result would have been different. So again, you just gotta get in there, let the game come to you, and it's one of those deals, right? I remember I think it was Martina Navratilova wrote in one of her books when she was struggling. she would just go to ensuring the ball got over the net. She wouldn't try to place it, right? She was like, for a Joe, if you do feel like you're pushing yourself, let's just focus on catching the ball first, right? But I don't think he's there yet. I just think that I think that, again, this is a young kid. He's really excited to be out there, and guys, he's done some good things since he's been back.
I wouldn't have had Martina Navratilova.
That was not on my bingo card today. No. Hearing Luke talk about Martina Navratilova.
That's awesome.
Well, hey, I mean, you know what? It's funny, guys.
Are a big women's tennis fan?
I remember coming into the media in 2013 and not necessarily having the healthiest respect for the job that you guys do. And I was a little bit like Ryan Clark, right? Oh, you guys didn't play, so how would you know? Blah, blah, blah. And then I realized one thing, and this is why I respect the media guys. I love the podcast community right now in the CFL is I remember that one of the guys told me, hey, man, just as hard as you worked as a pro, we work equally as hard to be a professional in this industry, right? And what made me think, it was like, hey, so I've started trying to at least, add things to my game. It's the way I've been always trying to get better. So I've enjoyed studying up on other athletes and being able to compare storylines to some of the things that we talk about here in the Canadian Football League, and especially for the Riders. So yeah, Martina Navratilova, and I'm not saying that that was her, by the way. I'm pretty sure it was, though.
You could have said Jennifer Capriati.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you.
Before we let you go, though, Cowboys in trouble at home against the Giants?
The Giants? No. We're going to kill the Giants. We're going to kill the Giants.
You're taking that
unless the Giants plan on rolling Michael Strahan, Eli Manning, and Brandon London out there, we're not worried about the damn Giants. And the minute we start worrying about the damn Giants is the minute I'll tell you what, man. I'm so sick. I'm so sick of watching the Green Bay Packers too. I had to watch the Green Bay Packers. I'm watching Michael Parsons just impacting the football game, and I kept saying to myself, this guy could be on our team still.
Yeah.
I mean, Kirk Herbstreit, boy. I hope, fellas, that someone looks at me one day the same way that Kirk Herbstreit looks at Michael Parsons. The glaze was unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. He was giving Chris Collinsworth love for Pat Mahomes a run for his money, like my buddy Jansen said. So
yeah,
but go Cowboys, man. We're still on the bandwagon, boys, until that thing breaks. Love the passion.
You going to Keith Urban after the game tomorrow?
Man, I just got in trouble. So Luther's grandmother was over here, and she's like, "Yeah, there's a parking concern with the Keith Urban concert," and I was like, "Who's that?" And she looked at me like she couldn't believe it. She's like, "What do you mean, who's that?" And then she instead of trying to explain who he was, she was like, "Well, he's married to," and then it was that actress
to Martina Navratilova.
No, it was not. No. I think Martina Navratilova.
Whoa! We go.
All right, there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, have a good call. Have a good call tomorrow. I'll probably see you at the game, buddy.
Okay. Let's do it, man. Go Riders.
Right on. Luc Mullinder. Awesome on a Friday. Always fun. We're up against the clock here. Let's take a quick break. It's the Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com. All right, we got action going on in the CFL right now. Currently, Chris Drevler slinging it 7-7. Bombers and Tiger Cats. The other game tonight, Ottawa's in British Columbia. Blue Jays and Orioles 0-0 early in that one. I don't know what's going on in high school football. Hopefully they're still going to go. There's 4 games going on today. The Beat Cancer game, Sheldon at Tom, was supposed to start at 5:15. Can West football in UBC, the Rams undefeated. 6:45 starts right here on 620 CKRM. And in Western Hockey League preseason, Moose Jaw's home to Saskatoon. Brandon welcomes Swift Current. In hour 3, it's for Steelcraft Doors Regina. Made in Western Canada for Western Canada. Tariff-free pricing at Regina Steelcraft Doors. All right, we got Prairie Golf Gems, Wynyard coming up. We got Farhan, Lalji as well. Quickly, before we let Greg from Piffles Podcast go, thanks for coming in again. Prediction.
Riders win in a romp. I don't care if it's wet or not. They win in a romp.
They cover the 8.5?
Easily.
Really? You're same boat as Luke. I think I like that. Thanks for coming in, buddy. All right, let's, like I said, Farhan's coming up after the break. It's time to talk some golf. Here it is, another edition of Prairie Golf Gems, something we've been doing here on the show because we are local focused, different golf courses around the province. Prairie Golf Gems brought to you by Flooring Superstore in Regina. Their cash and carry prices are hard to beat if you're a do-it-yourselfer. Trent Dickin and his team can also help you out. If you have an insurance claim, whether it's for the house, the cabin, the farm, whatever, they can help you. You don't have to go to where your contractor wants you to go. Flooring Superstore in Regina. They're local. They're always supporting local. Visit them. They're the sponsor of Prairie Golf Gems. All right, here it is. 9 holes in Wynyard, Saskatchewan. Wynyard or Wynyard? It's 9 holes. Thanks to the person who messaged in and said, you guys got to focus on this one. It is a nice little track out there, draws in a lot of people. So I said, heck, why don't we? There's still a month of golf season left. Like I said last week, I think September is the best month to golf by far in Saskatchewan. So the focus today on Prairie Golf Gems for Flooring Superstores is the Wynyard Golf Club. Paul Lenzik is joining us. Paul, I got to tell you, first off, I didn't even know Wynyard had a golf course, but it's a 9-hole track, grass greens. If you're selling the golf course to people, what do you tell people? What makes this thing special?
It's a gem. It's one of the nicest golf courses, 9-hole golf courses in this area. We have people driving by on the highway, and they say they'll say, "Oh my God, I've got to golf here," and when they do, they are happy that they stopped. It's a really good golf course.
What are we like? Is it tree lined? Is there bunkers? Is there water? What can you tell us about the layout?
Yeah, we've got trees. The narrowways are a little tight because of the trees. We've got plenty of sand traps that protect the greens. We've got one creek that runs in front of a hole and behind another. So we've got a little bit of everything. It's a par 34 course, but it doesn't play 34. It's challenging.
I'm looking at the pictures here online, and there's this one hole first off in the fall with the changing colors like most trees. It's beautiful. It does look like it can be a little tight.
Yes, yeah. There's I think it's hole number 6, and that's the one with the water in front. It's a par 4, 400 yards. And it's tight. I mean, you have to hit your drive straight. If you don't, you're in the trees and you're looking at a 6.
Would that be the signature hole, or is there another one?
Oh, I think our signature hole is number 7. It's a par 310 yards. Yeah, I think that's what we kind of claim as our signature hole.
It looks like it would be an easy course to walk. Am I missing like any hills or anything, or is it easy to kind of hoof?
No, it's very easy to walk. It's fairly flat. You can walk it hour and a half. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very easy to walk.
You mentioned the area too, so I'm sure you pull people from all over. All the communities are coming into play.
Yeah, we've got some guys, or we get visitors from Foam Lake and Kelvington, Wadena. There's a couple First Nation reserves to the south of us, and they come out. They've got memberships here, so yeah, it's a busy golf course. What
about tournaments? Are there any tournaments? I know we're late in the season here into September. Are those kind of all done?
They're pretty much all done. We've got a men's tournament. This is our first. We held one in start of June, I believe it was, and that's the first time we've done that in a few years. We just held a ladies tournament. What else do we got? Yeah.
Well, hold on. When's the men's tournament here? Give me. I got to check my calendar.
Well, it was late June, I believe, or the third week of June, and we're looking at possibly moving it up a little bit earlier so it doesn't conflict with a couple other tournaments in this area.
And seating would be a big thing, just like Harvest in the area for sure. What about amenities? If people are going out, clubhouse, food, drink, all that stuff. Is there carts?
Yes, for sure. Our clubhouse is in the new arena, so it's a multi-purpose facility. So we make the best use of it. Definitely, you can get some food and drinks and beverages, as well as golf cart rentals.
Sounds like a nice little gem out there, Paul. Okay, now the big question, you being from there, is it Wynyard or Wynyard?
It's Wynyard.
Okay, that's how I've always pronounced it. I think anyway. I just don't want to piss anybody off in the Wynyard area with the golf course. So people just book, they just call kind of thing, or you're pretty open now into September for people showing up?
I think right now it's pretty open. Kids are back in school. The travelers are kind of back at work, and so chances are you can just walk up and get onto the golf course without any problem.
All right, Paul. Well, I got to say, like I said at the start of this, I didn't really know about the course there in Wynyard, and it sounds like a nice little 9-hole track for people to check out. Paul, thanks so much for doing this, shedding some light on it, and it sounds like I said, a nice little track out there.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. And I mean, for anybody that's listening, if you want to stop by and do a round of golf, if you mention the word or promo code SportsCage, we'll give you 50% off your round. So,
what a deal! $22 goes down to $11. That you can't even play in your backyard for that cheap. There you go, people. Mention
you can't.
Mention SportsCage, half price off for the rest of it. All right, Paul. Take care and continued success out there with the course.
All right, thank you, Barney.
Wow. All right, let's focus in on that half price golf at the Wynyard Golf Club. If you mention SportsCage, so that's like $11 to play. WynyardGolf.com. You can find the phone number if you want to pre-book, but get out there if you want to swing the wrenches in September. Wynyard, lots of people, I'm sure, enjoyed it all year. Now it might be a little more open, so get out there. Mention SportsCage, play for $11. 18 holes, it says it's $35. So you tell me where you can play 18 holes of golf for half price on, what is that, $17, $17.50? You tell me where you can play. That's awesome. Thanks to Paul Lenzik for doing that. If you have one we should focus on before the end of the season, let us know. Text in or email hi@sportscage.com. It is for our friends at Flooring Superstore, Trent Dickin and his team, over 20 years of experience. Anything you need flooring, Flooring Superstore in Regina, they are supporting local. That's why they love Prairie Golf Gems all the time. It is the Sports Cage. We're streaming at sportscage.com, and we're on the home of local sports in Saskatchewan, 620 CKRM.